everybody. In my last video, one of my subscribers told me that my front camera was a little bit shaking when I was touching the desk with my elbows or stuff. So this time I'm trying to do the introduction video with my tiny desk tripod, and we will see if it's better. So if you're watching, tell me if it's still shaking or if it's better, and also to all you other viewers out there, if you notice something, if the sound is not good, or if the camera is shaking or whatever, tell me stuff. I will not be offended. I will just try to change it if I have the possibility to change it. So yeah, what I want to say is I appreciate your input. So now, let's get to this video today. I went shopping yesterday. No, 2 days ago. Anyway, I went shopping into my local arts and crafts store. I found out where my nearest one is. I found a big Bosner. I don't know if they exist in the United States or anywhere, but in Germany they are a big chain of arts and crafts stores, and I really liked them. I used them a lot when I was younger and I was still in art school. So each year, once a year, you went there, you left 200 euros and then you got to your classes the whole year. So I wanted to show you what I got in the store, and then we are going to have a little drawing session together. So during Inktober I started liking ink drawing again, so I got me a really good, well, I hope it's a good one. I don't know this ink. I'm going to test it. It's just a regular drawing ink in black, because I before moving flats I threw away or gifted away some of my art stuff, and there were a lot of old inks which I wasn't happy anymore because the pigments were already glued on the ground of on the bottle. So yeah, I got that ink and also 2 new pencils. I always wanted one to have with these long, the longer hairs for fine lines. I'm really interested how this will go. And then I just want a small one for inking, because I want to try doing brush pen outlines without the pen but with brush. So that will be interesting. And also a new little palette, because my palette that I have is for my watercolors and I don't want to mix my Good Ceramics watercolor palette with my ink. So I got a really cheap, simple one. It's €2, not even. So yeah. Then, just because I'm interested in testing them, I got a bigger brush pen, because the one that I have is, I mean, you know it when you watch my videos. I have this Pentel Pocket Brush Pen, and I always wanted to try the bigger one from Pentel. So yeah, got one of these. Got some refill cartridges for my pocket brush pen, because again, I'm drawing a lot in ink currently. I finally found one of these. These are for lino printing. When you have lino print, you can push them down, and because it is smooth, you can just push your ink everywhere you want it on the paper. And I wanted to try them, give them a go, and not only always use the wooden spoon. I mean, the wooden spoon, it works, but then again, if you try to make a little bit of a bigger size, the spoon gets annoying. And even this, I don't know if it's already big enough. We will see. I went on a splurge there. Some new kneadable erasers, because mine is quite used. I have the normal grey one, and I wanted to try the color one for once. And last but not least, what do you need to make art? You need some paper to draw on it. I got me Bristol paper, and that was my initial idea, to get, no, it's too much light, to get this Bristol paper from Lana, because I know this paper is good. It is very smooth, it is very thick, it carries ink well. This is a good paper to draw with ink. And then right beside that was a Bristol paper from Bosner itself. So this is how you write it. There, Bosner. And it's a little bit, it's less thick, but it's smooth. And I wanted to compare both, because there was definitely a price difference. And also this one has 20 pages, this one has 25 pages. Yeah, if this one proves to be good as well, I could save a few cents now and then. So yeah, this is all my art supplies. I would say come with me and we will make a little ink drawing and see where this drawing day takes us. What you'll notice here is that I have jumped the sketching part and that I'm also speeding a little bit through the pencil stage of this drawing, because pencil sketching is something that is very difficult to see on camera, or at least I have not found any settings where you can see it well. So what I decided is to show you a little bit of bits and bobs from here and there, and yeah, hopefully this is enough for you. I mean, the main part of this video would be the inking later. I have used the Bristol paper in this one, so not the expensive one, but the one that is a little bit cheaper. I did regret it a little bit in the end. Stay tuned why. I mean, it worked out fine in the end, but yeah, there was something with the paper I did not like. You will see what it was. Oh, also, what I put there intentionally in the edited version is how often I redid the eye, so that you can see how difficult it is sometimes to get what you really want, and especially eyes. Now for inking, I wanted to try out the new bottled ink, the one that I have never used before. So I decided to at least use it for the texture bits. For the texturing, I'm going to dry brush it with this cheap scratchy brush, and maybe I'm also going to try and use this round brush as well. So what I'm doing here is I have a spare piece of paper. I put a drop of ink into a mixing tablet or on a plate or somewhere, but just pure ink. And then I am filling my brush with a little bit of ink, and I use this spare piece of paper to get off the excess ink and also trying my brush stroke until I like the texture of the brush. I did not speed up this first part of the inking, so you can get a better look at this technique, and as well as to show you how hesitant I was and how slow I'm going there with this texture, because I'm not used to using textures in my drawings. So I'm still experimenting and learning and so on, what is possible and how to control the uncontrollable. Also, where do you put the ink down and where do you leave little spots of white? Where do you use less ink and all that? I think it's kind of good for you to see how slow my decision making actually is, or generally in art, how slow decision making sometimes is. Enough of the slow stuff. I also did the tribal coloring, which she has on her face with this technique. And after all this texture brushing stuff, things were as usual for me. So I took my Pentel pocket brush pen and started outlining. Well, no, I did not start my outline with that. I did the eyes with a fine liner because I was not, I didn't feel secure enough to do the eyes with a brush pen, because to get the eyes with the brush pen right, you really have to have a steady hand and know how to make a very fine line. And in the end, I was very happy that I did it with the fine liner, because this Bristol paper from Bosner, it feathers out quite much with the brush pen. So the fine liner was okay, but when I used the brush pen, my lines had a little bit of a feathery outline, so they were not as crisp as I hoped they would be, and I believe that on the Lana Bristol paper that would not happen. I will have to try a new ink drawing on the Lana Bristol paper to see if it's the same feathering effect, but I think I'm quite sure that I remember the Lana paper not feathering at all. I will have to try that again. So yeah, that's the regrettable part about the paper. So my lines were not crisp, and there was a moment where this made me totally insecure if I should go on with this drawing, because, well, I like my lines crisp, and somehow I felt like having these few lines on there already which are not so crisp that my drawing would be ruined. But I have decided to push on and just finish it. I could get rid of a little bit of the feathering when I sometimes dipped my brush pen onto a piece of cloth, so to get rid of excess ink. So maybe the ink was flowing too fast for the paper, so I was drawing too slow and the ink was swelling up in the pen. I don't know. I mean, even with the time-lapse version, you can see how I'm thinking, sometimes hesitating, searching for a good angle with the brush to make my stroke, because once you put down a stroke with ink, it's on the paper. There is no Control Z or Control Z, depending where you're from. Yeah. In the end, I am still happy how this drawing turned out. It's my first whole drawing I did here in my new home, and maybe I'm going to scan this in and give it some color digitally, and maybe with the sharpen tool I can even get rid of these feathery outlines and make the lines as crisp as I want them. So thank you for watching this. I hope you enjoyed this video and that I will see you next time. Bye!